Good afternoon, and welcome to the Office of Research Regulatory Affairs Research Matters. I am Scott Myers, the Clinical Research Educator for the Office of Research Regulatory Affairs, and I will be one of the moderators for today's session. I'm going to quickly go over some housekeeping items. If you have any questions for our presenters during today's session, please type them in the Q&A, and one of the moderators will respond to you during the session, or we will address it at the end of the presentations. This session is being recorded, and you can watch it again right after it's finished by clicking on the Microsoft Teams live link in the email invitation. We'll also send you the slides via email. You can find the links to future meetings, slides, handouts, and past recordings on Aura's Research Matters website under the Training and Resources page. We do provide a certificate of attendance for those who have logged in using a valid email address. If you do not receive one via email but should have, please send an email to hrpp@utsouthwestern.edu to request a certificate. Lastly, we want to hear from you. We use the information you provide to plan for future topics you would like us to cover during these sessions. You may also let us know how our speakers did and how our office is doing. So please take a few minutes to complete the survey to provide your feedback. You may access the survey using your phone via the QR code or your computer by selecting the link. I will also drop a link into the survey in the Q&A. Okay, here is our agenda for today. First, Mayad Bird, our HRPP director, will provide updates from the Human Research Protection Program. Then Shibi Antony, the Director of Research Technology, will give an update on the Ethos implementation, including a summary of the critical issues that arose after go live and an overview of the steps research and academic systems is taking to resolve these issues and maintain system functionality. Lastly, Mike Brown, the Senior Director of Client Services at Protocol Builder and Informed Consent Builder, will offer a tutorial on how to use Protocol Builder. It will cover how to access tutorials, build a reference library, and use key features of the platform. As always, if time permits, we will conclude with an open Q&A session. Before we begin the presentations, I do need to make an announcement on behalf of our Conflict of Interest Office. That is that the InfoEd system, and that's our COI system, will be down on July 17th. Again, that's this Thursday, day after tomorrow, July 17th, InfoEd will be down. Okay, I will turn it over to Mayad. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I just have a few updates from the IRB office. It seems like it's been a while since we've talked, or since I've had an opportunity to talk to you all, but just let you know we are working behind the scenes very hard. First off, I want to share a warm welcome to our new program manager who will be overseeing program details related to expedited and full board review. This is Carolyn Graves. She joined us actually just last Monday, so we're excited to have Carolyn working with us. Another update I just want to share with regard to UT Southwestern Ethos and the knowledge that we're going to be sharing, migrating key exempt studies, and those are going to be studies that are going to be funded. So the reason that we're going to migrate exempt funded studies is because there's not a way to replicate the VELOS records that is attached to the exempt study. So we're going to be working through the migration of these studies. As you probably know, there are a lot of exempt studies that we have in our queue, over 3,000. So the key is going to be honing in and identifying studies that are actually funded. So we've actually have a list that's been prepared. The next thing that we're going to be working on is identifying whether these funded studies are actually open. So we're working on that right now. And then the final step would be to migrate those submissions from EIOB over to UT Southwestern Ethos. So this is a work in progress. Just kind of, again, letting you all know that this is still planned. Just a couple of Ethos reminders. As we're kind of getting some of the bugs that are with the system, were identified with the system fix, we want to remind you that when you're making updates, for example, with modifications, please do not delete forms within the smart form. If you have any changes to forms, such as your protocol or your informed consent document or data collection instruments, be sure to upload those updated or revised forms on top of the previous versions and not as separate documents. And also note that the continuing review notices, we understand that you all are still receiving reminders about continuing reviews or the need to submit continuing reviews. Even after you've submitted your continuing review, we again know that this is an issue. It's been reported and our RES team is working on the matter. The other thing I wanted to kind of just note is just provide a quick update regarding Ethos. Again, we've gotten past the major migration. We're working on migrating our exempt studies over to Ethos. And then once we work through a number of bugs with the system, then we would be launching our single IRB review portal. And so with that in mind, I wanted to invite Shibby Anthony, who's the director of RAS. She's going to be providing us with a little bit more information on kind of some of the hiccups we've had with the Ethos system and kind of the plan to move forward and work through some of those bugs. Shibby, I'll turn things over to you, but once you're done, if you can turn things back over to me and I'll introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. I kind of wanted to provide some perspective from the RAS side with regards to the Ethos system and some of the issues that has come forward with a few of the deployments. We have recognized some of the problems that have come forward because of misalignment in some of the lower environments that are on the Ethos side. So I kind of wanted to preface with a few bullets that I have laid down here with regards to how our environments are set up to kind of help establish some of the ways in which we are trying to mitigate the problems. So we have 3 active environments for the Ethos side. One is our development environment where we have active development and configuration work that is ongoing. This is where our developers prioritize the issues in partnership with the HRPP team. We work on configuring and making sure that the issues are resolved here. And once it is fully tested, the issues reported are fully tested in this environment, we then promote it up to the test environment, which is also called our user acceptance testing environment. And once we patch this forward into a test environment, we then invite the HRPP team to allow for some user acceptance testing. And once this is passed from the UAT environment, we then promote this up to a production environment where the fixes are then available for our users in the live environment. So in terms of how the environments are laid out, there has been, like I was mentioning, a little bit of a misalignment with regards to how our lower environments or development and test environments are previously set up, which resulted in some syncing issues. And because of that, some of the patches that were deployed into production resulted in issues even after we thought they were resolved. And so in order to help fix some of those problems, we made sure that our development and our test environments are fully set up and configured. This setup was configured in the last several days. And with this, we will make sure that these past issues that were due to misalignment of our lower environment are being addressed. And we are also making steps to ensure that our future deployment changes are going to follow a software development lifecycle wherein the issues are properly tested in the lower environments. It's fully QA'd. There's then it's also being tested by the UAT environment, and then after that, only upon final sign-off would we push the changes over to a production environment. With this, we're making sure that 1, the lower environments are fully set up and configured. Second, there is a full QA and testing process being established in these environments, and then only would we push the changes over to a production environment. We have identified issues, and a lot more come forward with when they are identified and reported up. We have a process in place to help identify and triage these issues in partnership with the HRPP, and they are categorized as urgent all the way down to a low. And our immediate priority is to make sure that urgent issues are addressed for quicker resolution, and we will plan to address the others in the order of priority. Our standard deployment schedule is to make sure that we can address these issues and tackle them for deployment on Mondays. This is assuming that we have proper QA and UAT and all of the sign-offs are in place prior to the deployment, but our plan is to make sure that we can do a weekly production deployment. But of course, if there is any urgent critical items that require a fix, we will make sure that we will allow for any off-cycle patches. So this is mostly wanting to making sure that the team has an overview of how we have set up our environments on the Ethos side and the way we plan to make sure that we configure and deploy our fixes to mitigate some of the issues that have come forward in the last several weeks or months.
Thank you,
That is all
Shippy.
from my side, Maya.
Yeah, thank you, Shippy. So just again, a reminder, we appreciate your patience as we work through some of the bugs that are kind of still in the system. We have been working really hard with RAS to, track all of the bugs, get them submitted and place priority levels on them again so that we can continue to work. And also to support this from the IRB standpoint, we typically have an IRB huddle each day where we talk about if any issues that have come up and whether we need to have any type of workarounds. So this is kind of the model we've been deploying over the last couple of months. And so again, if you come across any issues with your submissions, just let us know so that we can work on fixing those and just keep things moving. Again, our office is committed to making sure that we've got a smooth process so that you all don't feel kind of the brunt of any of the issues with the system. But again, we understand that there might have been some issues with stamping of consent forms, for example. Again, just reach out to us and let us know so that we can quickly fix that issue. We appreciate working with RAS on the matters. And again, just thank you for your patience on those. So with that, I'm going to introduce our next presenter. This is Mike Brown. And we've been working with Mike for about a year almost, and we've been trying to deploy what's called the Protocol Builder. Let me change my slide here. So we actually were able to launch Protocol Builder last month, and this platform is available to our UT Southwestern research personnel and our affiliates that have UT Southwestern credentials. In order to access Protocol Builder, you would be using your single sign-on using, again, your UT Southwestern credentials. So we've invited Mike Brown to give us a demo of the platform just so that you become a little bit more familiar with the platform and are able to kind of navigate the use of the platform. So I'll turn things over to you, Mike.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen now. And just let me know if you all can see it. How does that
Yes.
work? Okay, great.
Yes.
Good to go. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to give you a quick run through of Protocol Builder. I know I have 15 minutes, but I'll try to give you some high level information, highlighting some things that your team asked me to highlight. So once you log into Protocol Builder, again, via SSO, this will be your home screen. So you'll see a list of your 5 most recent protocols here. If you click on View All, or if you go to your drop-down menu and click on Documents, you will see all the protocols that you've started or that you've been asked to collaborate on. Just looking at the rest of the home screen here, you'll have some updates, both from Protocol Builder about new features and capabilities that might be being rolled out, as well as your administrators can send you messages either to the entire user base or to a single user if they like. Over here on the right-hand bottom side of your homepage, you'll have your featured tutorials. So we have a full section of these nice little training videos that are about 2 to 3 minutes long that show you every single feature about how to use Protocol Builder. So again, they're all broken up into nice 2 to 3 minute little videos, or shorter in this case, and with audio that you'll be able to hear to help you navigate through the Protocol Builder process. But I'm just going to try to give you a quick and dirty overview right now. But if you do have questions following this, our help desk is always available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. You can shoot them an email or give them a phone call if you have any questions whatsoever. They are very responsive. Okay, let's go back to the home page. And so just going down this list. So first, you have your My Documents, where you can get a full list of your documents. You can sort them by name, version, principal investigator, etc. You can download reports on all your protocols. You can create folders on them and group them in whatever way you want. So a lot of tools to help keep yourself organized with your protocols here. Again, either ones that you've created or the ones that you've been invited to collaborate on. And then just going down one more to the settings, or I'm sorry, let's start with the reference library. How this works is you can obviously add references one by one if you like, but more conveniently, you can export from EndNote, Mendeley, PubMed, any online library where your references might exist, and any file that exists as or can be converted into an RIS or NBIB file, and you can upload those to this section here. This is an additive library, so you can add 5 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday. You'll have 10 references. It'll keep building. It doesn't overwrite, but you can upload those files directly to your desktop. And I think all reference libraries are able to be converted into these file types if they don't already exist. So you have that option. And again, you can always add them one by one. I'll show you just in 1 second how this interfaces with the actual protocol writing process. But just going down here, you just have some settings. You can choose to have tooltips automatically open for you, which I'll show you in the next section here when we get to the writing process. But to start a new protocol, you just click on Start Protocol, type in the name of your protocol, and then select the document type. So you'll have all our standard templates here the protocol builder comes with, plus your team has converted some of your existing templates. So you have your PopSci and your SCCC protocol templates in here that will be available to you all, not available to me, but will be available to you in this document drop-down list. You can also choose to pre-populate all sample text throughout a protocol. So let's just hop into the writing process quickly, and I'll show you what that means. So here is a protocol template that I have partially completed. So within each section, how Protocol Builder works is it's broken up into sections. You'll have your guidance, your tooltips here, which again, you can choose to automatically open, just gives you some high level information about what's expected in that section. And then you have your sample text as well. This might be anywhere from a couple sentences to a couple paragraphs that you can insert and then obviously edit specifically for what's involved in your research study. If you select that button when you are called pre-populate sample text, when you are getting started out, it'll populate all that sample text throughout all the sections of the protocol where it's able to be populated. So you're not staring at a blank page when you get into each section. And then, we have a lot of the same formatting tools. The references, you can see these little R's littered throughout the writing here. That's because Protocol Builder is going to automatically recognize in order of appearance where you've inserted a reference into the protocol, and then automatically number it and format it for you in a reference table at the when you go to publish your protocol. And so just briefly, to insert a reference, you'd put your cursor where you'd like to insert one, click on References, find your document references, and click Insert. And simple as that. Now you have your reference, your little R. If you hover over it, gives you a short title of what exactly that reference is. So it'll recognize, again, in order of appearance, where they're added, number them for you, and you can further edit them from your reference table down here on the right. We have a number of other what we call non-numbered sections here, which kind of work in the same fashion. So all these numbered sections are obviously your protocol content, and the boxes will look like this, where you can edit your text. These non-numbered sections are basically building out your abbreviations, your glossary tables. Anytime you add a chart, anytime you add an appendix to a section, if you're in the informed consent section, you could add your informed consent form. If you're in your study procedure sections, maybe there's a survey tool or an interview questionnaire, you can add that to that appendix. Protocol Builder is going to recognize anytime you add a chart, an abbreviation, a glossary term, where exactly that was added, and put them in these non-numbered sections for you, and point you to exactly what section that document was added, what section that chart was added, and then also, again, start creating a glossary for you, an abbreviation table for you that is going to be, again, obviously automatically formatted for you and put in a nice neat table at the end of your protocol, which I'll show you what a output looks like in just a second. But just to back up briefly, this is kind of one of the most important things about how Protocol Builder works at a high level. The idea for Protocol Builder is to bring a protocol to completion, right? So that means going through each section and either, number one, saving something, marking something as complete here, and saving it as complete, which will give it this blue check mark box here, letting you know that's completed. If you're not, mark it as complete and just save it. It'll mark it as a draft, letting you know that there's still more work to be done, or using our non-applicable selector. So if you think that a section, is not applicable to the type of research that you're doing or your particular project, you can just simply select the non-applicable button. That'll also bring it to completion. And if we go down to your progress dashboard here, which obviously shows you your progress, it'll tell you exactly which sections have been brought to completion and which sections still have some information outstanding. And the idea here, again, is to bring the protocol to completion, because if you do not, and you try to publish a version of the protocol, it'll tell you there are incomplete sections. Please go finish them. And the idea here is, number one, you're going to get a nice versioning system that'll give you numbers and dates that these versions were created. This is duplicated for some reason right now, but it'll exist as in numbers without duplicates. But version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every time you publish a protocol. But more importantly, after you publish version 1, and maybe you've submitted to the IRB and there are extensive requests for revisions, or your protocol is approved and you have an amendment down the line, some modifications. Once you go back into Protocol Builder after you've published a version, so you're on version 1, you go back, you make some changes, then you publish version 2, it's going to automatically track any change that you've made throughout the protocol with red strike through for anything that you've removed and for green highlight for anything that you've added. So you get this beautiful summary of changes for you from version 1 to version 2, version 2 to version 3, et cetera, where you can then add your rationale for why you've made that change. And then just quickly to show you kind of what a fully published version looks like, if we click into one of these versions here, you're starting with, you get your, I'll move this out of the way, this will, you can also export this obviously as a Microsoft Word document or as a PDF. But the idea is to publish, to bring the document to completion. So you get this nice versioning, dating system with your prior versions listed and all your changes highlighted. But obviously everything's auto formatted for you. The synopsis, this is auto generated for you as you complete your protocol. These sections are linked to their numbered sections in the body of the protocol. So as you're writing your protocol, it's automatically filling out your synopsis, or as you're running your synopsis, it's automatically filling out your protocol. And again, your abbreviation glossary tables are created just by highlighting these terms and writing out the full definition as you go along the way. You get a table of contents that's auto-generated for you. This is also incorporated into the table of contents functionality for Microsoft Word and Adobe, so it stays linked up in those programs, and you get that nice little sidebar with the table of contents for you. But again, everything's auto-formatted for you, the same font, spacing, etc. Looks a little nicer when you print it out as a PDF. Your references here, again, these are created just by putting your cursor where you want to add a reference, clicking insert, and this is auto-generated for you and numbered for you and formatted for you. Any table that you created along the way, Protocol Builder will recognize what section that table was created in and give you a nice table of tables. Charts, which is our word for pictures. Anytime you add a PDF, a JPEG, a JPNG, it'll track where that is. And then you have your appendices. And then again, your nice summary of changes that show you where all the changes have been made between versions. And then just briefly, I know I'm running short on time, I just wanted to show one other little whistle or bell about Protocol Builder. It is within a version, we also have our compare revisions tool. So again, you have the summary changes between published versions, which you get by going to publish. You can output it anytime. You can, so you don't have to be complete. If you're going on a plane, you just want to read your protocol at whatever state it is. We don't handcuff people to having to publish. You can always output. But again, this is how Protocol Builder is intended to be used. But then within a version of Protocol Builder, anytime you make a change and save it, either marking it as complete or saving it out, or saving it as a draft, which is saving it not marked as complete. Anytime you do that, and you go to this compare revisions tool, Protocol Builder is also going to track that within that version. So within version 1, within version 2, etc. Any change that's been made by anyone that's allowed to edit the protocol is tracked. Again, in green highlight for anything that's been added, and red stripe for anything that's been removed. And you can do side-by-side comparisons of that version, any draft version of that's ever been saved. As you can see here, we have quite a bit. And you can do side-by-side comparisons on the left-hand side to either your current draft, which is indicated by yellow, or any other previous version that's been saved as complete. And this history is completely reversible. You can revert to other versions, compare them, again, any version side by side. And you can also, there's a little, I don't have enough time to explain it, but there's a little in-app messaging system where you can send things to people for review or their comments, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll point there and stop there and see if the team wants me to highlight anything else. Otherwise, yeah, we can open it up for questions. Well, I guess there's a larger Q&A, but. Anything else, may I add?
Thanks, Mike. Let me just answer 2 questions that I can see in our chat. Somebody asked where the link is to Protocol Builder. You can actually, if you go to the HRPP home site, the link is on that first page there. If you don't mind, I'm gonna steal the show. Yeah. Let me close out some of these other windows so we just have it focused on the IRB. All right. I'm gonna share my screen really quick. So if you go to the IRB home website, you go to the HRPP home, we actually have Protocol Builder link right here. Okay, when you access this link, my computer is saving my password, but it'll take you to the single sign-on. And from there, you'll be able to access the system. It looks like there is another question in the platform, or in the, let's see. Yeah, so the Protocol Builder Pro free. What is the Protocol Pro free, Mike? That's what we have here, or is that something different?
Hold on, let me read the question myself. Is the Protocol Builder Pro free to use? I think they're just asking protocol. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, the website actually is Protocol Builder Pro, right? Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yep, it's available to everybody through single sign-in, I think is the right answer there.
Right. Yes, that's correct. So as long as you have UT Southwestern credentials, you can actually log in using single sign-on and use the platform. So yes. What other questions can we answer for you? I mean, about the Protocol Builder or anything else?
Yeah, and we'll now move into just an open Q&A session. But if you do have more questions about Protocol Builder, you go ahead and type those in the Q&A chat. But also, if anybody has any questions about the other presentations today, feel free to get those typed up, and we'll just wait a minute, give you all a chance to put those in there. And Mayed, Mike, or anybody, if you need to take over the screen to demonstrate something for one of these questions, please feel free to do so.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat. Is Protocol Builder linked to Ethos, and can you push a protocol to Ethos? Unfortunately, at this time, the platform requires that you download your protocol that was been built in the platform as either a Word document or a PDF, and then you upload that document to your Ethos application. So they don't communicate to one another. Another question is, does the Protocol Builder have the capability to translate documents to Spanish? Mike, that might be something for you to develop along the road, but at this point in time, the system does not have the ability to translate a document to Spanish.
Correct. We are having conversations for it. So we have a sister tool called Consent Builder, and we are actively having conversations with translation companies for not only Spanish, but any translation, any type of any other language. linking it basically with another company, perhaps getting a quote for the translation if it could be done by AI, or if it needs a forward and back translation if it's a full clinical trial. That's more on our consent builder side, but we are having active conversations about that, and it's on our roadmap.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Just to clarify, UT Southwestern has subscribed to Protocol Builder and not the consent builder at this time. All right, so we have another question. So for the UT Southwestern specific templates, is there a plan to have those updated in the software itself? We actually have posted those UT Southwestern specific templates. We have the Cancer Center, SCCC Cancer Center, and then we have the Population Science protocol templates available in the platform. So those are actually UT Southwestern specific templates. Any other questions?
Yeah, we'll give you all just another minute to type up some additional questions. But in the meantime, just as a reminder, don't forget about the survey. If you could just spend a few minutes to complete the questions, that information will really help us improve the content of these sessions and our presentation of them. Okay, do you all see any other questions in the Q&A?
Uh-oh, I think one more came through here.
Okay.
Is there going to be any sort of watermark or stamp to the actual document if we use Protocol Builder? Mike, I might need you on that one.
Yeah, the only identifying mark, like there's no like advertisement, like you use Protocol Builder or Protocol Builder logo on it or whatever. If you all choose to have the logo featured, the UT Southwest logo featured on the published versions, then that would be there. So not sure if you're asking if there's a way to identify whether Protocol Builder has been used for a certain protocol, but that could be a way. But otherwise, yeah, there's no like identifying. This was created by Protocol Builder, Mark. If I'm answering your question correctly.
I think that's the question. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I want to go ahead and thank our presenters and thank you all for attending today's session. Our next Research Matters session is scheduled for the 19th of August. Okay, so I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next month.